Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Don Lee with an internship update. And yes, this is the final week of my internship. 2 more days, and oh yeah, the tears could start to shed. But why? I mean, it's like, really, I should be celebrating that actually this internship was a complete success. And yes, it is the beginning of my journey to self actualization. Because, like my professor mentioned, at the very least, you want to come out of that internship with a good letter of recommendation, a gleaming letter of recommendation, as my professor would say. And of course, if you get a job offer, that's like a bonus because that's out of one's control. I mean, for one, the company may not have any positions available. Maybe they're in a hiring freeze. Whatever may be the case, if you got that good letter of recommendation, who's to say that once a position does become available, that you will be the first to be known about it and can get hired on or at least get an interview, or maybe the people that you worked alongside with know other people that work at a different company, and it's kind of like through word of mouth. So at the very least, you want to leave a lasting impression. And yes, I'm certain I left a lasting impression based on the remarks I got back, which I finally did get back last Friday from my manager. Yes, it's kind of like a report card, and it pretty much highlights like how we did overall as an intern throughout the 8 weeks. And it's kind of like compare. I'm going to kind of use like an analogy, comparing it to like a class grade. So like there are 3 levels, and it's like there are different categories, like one of them being like working alongside a team, cooperation, attendance, taking initiative, demonstrating knowledge. There's like different categories, and so it was rated based on proficient, which is like the maximum. Proficient was like going above and beyond, like beyond expectation. And I mean, that's the goal. You want to be able to get proficient in every single category. It's like getting an A. It's how I would compare it to. Then you have demonstrating. Demonstrating is really good as well. It's like you're doing what you've been told. You're doing your assigned task, and you're going a little bit above and beyond. And then you've got emerging, which is like you're doing what you're supposed to. It's just kind of like you're skating by, but at least you're getting things done. But it's like getting a C in your class. And yep, when I found out that I got proficient all across the board, awesome remarks, I was like, yes, yes, I am on the big path to beginning my journey of self actualization. Because really, this internship was, like I mentioned, it's the gateway. It's finally getting my foot in the door and getting some real job experience in my desired career field and actually getting to work with a real data set. And it was interesting because at the very beginning of my internship, it was thought that maybe if I could create 2 different metrics dashboards, that was like it was like that would be a good job. Like that would have been like, yeah, you did a good job if you could get like 2 metrics dashboards created, and anything above that is like going above and beyond. Well, it turns out I actually got all 7 of the metrics dashboards completed, and even had to figure out ways to kind of occupy my time to just kind of clean up any excess folders and sheets I may have had. So really, it's like I pretty much maximized my time as an internship, and hence, for the good, the awesome remarks, the awesome feedback, and encouragement from my teammates. So it was an overall success, and yeah, it was probably the most it was like an awesome summer. That's all I can say. It was probably the best summer I've had in probably all time. And it's funny because 5 or 10 years ago, I would have thought like having the summer of a lifetime was like going out there and skiing all these glaciers, or going out across the country and trying to do all these like 13ers and 14ers, hiking them, or cycling like all these beyond category cycling climbs and seeing how fast I can go on descents. But really, it turns out having the summer of a lifetime is actually getting that vital work experience and getting that internship that's going to get me into my desired career field and helping to defy the odds and entering into a new career field for someone my age. So really, it has been one hell of a summer. It was kind of like buckle up and get ready to go for a ride, because now I feel like now I've got like that good foundation. I've left a good uh, impression. I now have references I can use, And so I'm in the process of actually applying for jobs right now with the company I was working at and other companies as well, and seeing what happens, because I start classes back in the fall, but because I'm over like 60, 70% of the way done with my software development degree, I'm no longer going to be a full-time student. I'm only going to be a part-time student, and I figure I can handle being a part-time student and working a full-time position. So it's not going to leave very much room for me to do, hiking or cycling, but that's okay. I can handle minimizing my physical activity for a few months while I finish up my degree program and have a full-time job going. I mean, it's definitely worth the sacrifice, and that way I won't be incurring any more student loan debt. So that's another plus. And I wasn't really incurring much debt anyways with this program, but still, it's always good if I can minimize the debt. So overall, I must say it's been an awesome summer. Got really good feedback. I got a good taste of what it's like to actually work in like a corporate-like position, working alongside my team, my management, interacting with stakeholders and sales directors, sales managers, sales reps, sales engineers, other engineers. I mean, it's pretty dang awesome. So yeah, overall, I must say it was a really awesome experience, and I'm actually thinking of making a video on how future interns can get the most out of their internship and potentially ways to turn it into a potential job offer. And I'll make sure to mention that you can do your best, you can do everything you can, but sometimes, like I said, it's out of your control. If they're in a hiring freeze or if they don't have any positions available at the time, it doesn't mean that you have to give up hope. The most important thing is to leave that lasting impression to where if something does come up, available, then you'll be invited back on the team, or maybe another team within the same company, or who knows, maybe a different company. So I kind of wanted to make a video highlighting that. I know I had made a video a little earlier, but that was a little too, I was kind of like going too far off into the future and, coming up with a bunch of like uh, hypothetical situations. The point of the matter is really, I need to be really focusing on the present, what I've done these past 8 weeks, utilizing it to my strength and moving on forward. And yeah, just realize that maybe the grass is not going to be like really green on the other side. But yes, I do firmly believe it's going to be definitely be a little greener on the other side. Uh, and let's see what else. Yeah. So with that being said, it was been an awesome experience, uh, getting that work experience, and I've also discovered that really the best way to learn a programming language or learn how to use a new software is you've got to do it on the job. I mean, if you do it on a job on a day-to-day basis, that's the best way to learn it, because you're going to use it on a daily basis. It's going to be cemented into your mind. You're going to become natural at it. So really, I mean, you can do all the classes you want. You can do like a capstone project. You can do like all these tutorials. But really, I've discovered that to get good at any programming language, whether it's Python, Java, SQL, JavaScript, or learning like uh, a software, or like say Google spreadsheets or whatever it may be, you've got to be doing it on a day-to-day basis, and it really helps if you're actually doing it on the job. So that's, I also wanted to share that with you guys. And yeah, aside from that, that's pretty much all I got to say for now. So yeah, 2 more days, just doing some finishing touch-ups on my project, but it's been a really rewarding experience. And yeah, it's the path, it's definitely the gateway to the good life. And I've got 21 days left here in my lease before now I say this, this is not, so technically it's funny because the way I say it, technically in 21 days I'm going to be homeless. So yes, technically homeless. Now I'm saying technically because really, once my lease is over, then I start heading east to stay with my family for a few months until I finally do get that full-time position. But yeah, it's just funny when I think of it that way. It's like, yes, in 21 days, I'm going to technically be homeless, even though I'm like, I'm not necessarily like having to, live on the street. It's just funny how I say it that way because, yeah, technically I'm not going to have, a residence where I'm living at, if that makes any sense. Like someone's let me use their address for me to get their mail so that I can kind of keep my program intact as far as my software development degree goes. But as far as like having any place to live, yeah, it's just funny when I say it that way. So I'm sure I'm going to be making a video and then I'm going to be like, yeah, guys, I am technically technically homeless. I don't know, but you see, like, it's just like, yeah, and that's exciting too. I mean, finally, I am breaking free of the student housing living situation. So, yes, I will be making a video, and it's going to be titled, yes, I am now free and technically homeless. Oh yeah, you see the mood I'm in, just knowing that I've had an awesome internship, and the most important part was the outcome and the feedback I got was like all positive. Yes, that's what you want. So for all of you future interns out there, stay tuned in a new future on how you can succeed as an internship and have a good, successful outcome. So with that being said, I thank you all for tuning back in. Once again, this is Don Lee. All right, take care, everyone. Peace.